as we get up on an unprecedentedly enormous morning. We got Bam, we got Crosby, we got the baseball, and we got the squad to do it. Let's go, everybody. We are ready to roll. Get up. Huge group put together here. We've also got Shefty today. Show me Shefty. We got Shefty. We got Chene. We got Mike Tannenbaum to try and make some sense of all this madness with Crosby. We will get to that. But we must begin with the history that was made on the floor last night in Miami. The Heat hosting the Wizards. And in the first quarter, you could feel something special was going on. Heat up 18-16. Bam had 14 of those 18 points. Make it 16 and count of his buckets. All this in the first quarter.
He was red hot from the start. Alex Starr and him had a little battle going in the first 5 minutes, and then it was a one-sided battle for the rest of the game.
Bam Adebayo would make 7 threes in the game. There's a three-point play that gets him to 25 points. And now bringing it up, here's another one of those threes. Adebayo 31 in the first quarter. That's the Heat record, and they're up 11 going to the second.
The Heat check in the first quarter? Can you have that?
It's a Heat check appropriately spoken. Here they are. They're up by 14. Adebayo, again, working in the painted area. Left hand and it's good. That's 34 and counting. A minute to go in the half. Adebayo.
What is that? That's not
plus
even
43 points at halftime, breaking LeBron's record for most points scored in a half in a Miami uniform. But he was just getting started. Third quarter, Adebayo picking up. How about the two-hand?
The lack of this is scrimmage level defense from the Wizards, I have to say, but Bam took advantage of it.
Adebayo up to 45 and counting. Here we go. Now we're in the closing minutes of the third. Adebayo, we got a turnover one way, we got a turnover the other way, and there's nobody home. 62 points through 3 quarters. And his girlfriend, Asia Wilson, is there to cheer him on, watching as history would be made. 9 minutes to go, and now we're counting every bucket, every moment. Adebayo with 67 in the lane, plus the foul. 70 points after the free throw. Under 4 minutes to go. Adebayo at 74, down low, plus the foul. 77 points for Adebayo. 2 minutes to go. He's at 79. Get him the ball. Adebayo bringing it up the floor. Foul before the shot. The first free throw would give him 80 points. The second moves him equal to Kobe Bryant for the second highest scoring game in NBA history. We've got a minute to go. Bam at 81. Get it across midcourt. Where's the defense? There's the foul. Adebayo will go to the line with a chance at history. The first free throw will pass Kobe Bryant, and there it is, with his mom Marilyn cheering it on. Adebayo with 82 points, and then for good measure, one more. He finishes the night with 83 points scored, 20 field goals, 7 threes, 36 free throws. The Heat win it going. What a night. Bam Adebayo also breaks the record for most made free throws in NBA history. His previous career high scoring game had been 41 points. Last night he goes for 83. He joins Wilt Chamberlain from the 100-point game as the only players in NBA history with 40 points in multiple halves in a single game. We've got Alan and we have Chinea Gumwake up with us early this morning for reaction again to an historic night. And we will say it, we did not put all of it in the highlight because it would have slowed down the momentum of it. But certainly late in this game, there were a lot of things that happened. They were intentionally fouling. The Heat were intentionally missing free throws to get their teammate opportunities at more points to try and get him closer and closer to the record. That's there. It happened. I can give you the numbers because I have the box scores of all 3 games. Bam made 43 free throws last night. Kobe shot 20 free throws in his game. Wilt Chamberlain shot 32 free throws in the 100-point game, and I'll remind you, he did it in an era where there were no threes. So, with the table set, Chinea, what are the first things to say about Bam Adebayo scoring 83 points last night?
First, I don't care about the qualifiers. If I'm going to describe this performance in one word, it's inspirational. In a couple, it's a global pause button. You stop what you're doing, and you pick up your remote control and you change the channel and you watch an all-time great performance. That's what the entire world did. And I'm just in awe. Honestly, I say inspirational because it's personal to me. Make a mighty ocean. It basically means that the path to success, it's not always going to be loud, but the results are. And we saw the results of years of hard work and dedication come to this one performance. This is a guy that is not designed necessarily to have this type of output, to drop 83, but his work ethic showed that anything is possible. He hit multiple threes. He demanded the ball in a way to get to the free throw line. It was truly inspirational because this is a guy that's a multiple-time All-Star, probably like 3 or 4. He's known as a defender, but he is the heart, literally, and soul of Miami. And you only get there when your teammates love you, and it was a beautiful performance.
And he wasn't having a great offensive season. In fact, he was struggling with shooting throughout most of this season. If I gave you the list of the top 100 scorers in the NBA right now, where would you rank him among the most probability to have a night like this, in a season like this? So, yes, everything Shanae said, I completely agree with. And let's forget about the ethical hoops conversation here, please. Let's put that aside because this was not a basketball game anymore. This was a spectacle. That's what it became. Purpose, because they thought he can't make free throws. When he started making them, they were fouling his teammates, so he couldn't score. That was no longer an ethical game either. So let's put that aside. This was a spectacle, and that's what the NBA can give you on a nightly basis. That's what made this fun. The Celtics-Spurs game, that was the game of the night. But when I heard he was at 50 points in the third quarter, where did I go? League pass. Let me see the rest of this game.
100%. I want to echo what you just said. The reason you come to shows like this one, hopefully, is to get perspective on things like that. And so for all the people who are on Twitter saying that they made the end of that game a farce, what I will tell you is you never saw the end of the game in 1962. A, because you maybe not be old enough to have. B, because it wasn't on television.
Right.
Exactly the same thing, or a relative facsimile of the same thing, happened that night. As Alan just said, the Knicks were intentionally fouling Chamberlain's teammates so that he wouldn't get a chance to try and go for the 100 points,
right.
And he got there anyway. History doesn't write down how you got there. History writes down the number, and history will record forever. Chanae, I'll give you a final word. Will record forever that last night Bam Adebayo scored more points than any player in any game ever except for Wilt Chamberlain.
This, to me, is fascinating because it could honestly be an inflection point, not only for Bam, but for the Miami Heat. They've needed an infusion of life, and everyone has called on him to be that top dog. And these are the moments you never forget. These are the moments that are undeniable. And so, like Alan said, I was watching the Celtics Spurs. That went out of the window, even though it was a beautiful game, because you do not want to miss moments like this. We're going to talk about where were you? I was nowhere crazy. I was sitting on my couch. But Bam will honestly become an icon just for this one night.
All right, we're going to get to Celtics Spurs because Wembanyama went nuts and Jaylen Brown got thrown out. So there's a lot more NBA to get to. But the next story and our massive morning comes with an upset that may